everyone. Welcome to July Book Club.
Hello. Glad to see you guys here.
So we have, hey, Brooke, virtual hug. Nice. Hillary Ferrand. April, hello, sitting at my 16-and-a-half-year-old son's baseball game, looking forward to talking about one of my favorite authors. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know you love this author. Jana Porter, hi, everyone. I wasn't able to read the book this month, but I'm happy to be here. It doesn't even matter because we'll recap it for you.
Exactly.
I feel like that happens with most book clubs. It's like the night before the day of panic. People are like, oh my God,
right.
This. Amber, hi. April, I read the book years ago and chose to listen to the audio to refresh my memory. I love this series.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Amber, did the video start? Oh, this is an old question. I was like,
here we are.
Here. April, not yet. Hillary, I was surprised I liked it as much as I did. Me too.
Yeah.
So it's a fairly long series, isn't it? You know, I don't know. I think there were like 7 books in it.
Yeah, there's like several. And
yeah.
I have one in my library I haven't read, so I got to get into it.
Becky. Hey.
Hello.
Becky Muth. So Becky has a secret name. It is R.A. Muth. She has initials. So Becky has a really fun paranormal cozy mystery you should go check out.
Yes, I've heard of it.
It's on my Whiskered Mysteries video. It's a cute series. It's a cat that turns into a hot guy.
That sounds fun, actually.
Yeah. What more could you want? Hey, Maria.
Maria.
April, very long. Oh, 16 books. Wow. That is way longer than I thought. Yeah. That it's a long series. Who else is here? Jennifer, I love the series, read it years ago. Yeah, it's a pretty old book. Like it came out, like she was talking about like answering machines and pay phones. So
oh yeah, that's what I noticed too, a little bit of technology from back then. Mm-hmm.
Jason, hello. I have about an hour before it's finished. Just been on vacation, didn't finish it yet.
Oh, you're so close.
Yeah. Hi there. Megan. Hey, Megan. Hey, Amber.
Hi, Megan.
And Becky, thank you so much. It's really good. I love the series. And they're the cutest covers. This is Laura. Post is my YouTube username. Yeah, it is weird. It just happened.
Remember, that's Laura.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to change it. Hey, Brooke. All right, so put in the comments your ratings for the book, and then we'll start to recap it. I did give this. So here's the thing. I gave this book a 5 because I loved it. Like I totally enjoyed reading it. But as far as a cozy mystery, I would say maybe it's like a 3 because it felt more like a romance. What did you think, Molly?
I thought there was the romance touch, right? But I didn't find it overwhelming at all. I actually thought it was a nice mix of romance. So it still felt like a mystery. And that's what I like. I feel like it's a mystery still.
And I did like, because we were just talking about this the other day, I'm not as much into paranormals as I thought I was. So I like this because it was very light paranormal. It wasn't like hardcore urban fantasy. You know what I mean? It was kind of like
no super world building.
Yeah. So she happens to be a psychic, and no one else in her family is a psychic, like some of the other cozies where like she discovers it and the whole family's like, oh, you've discovered your powers. Like
true. She's been doing this for a while. It's her career. Yeah. Exactly.
So I don't know, maybe April, because it sounds like you've read all 17 books or 16 books. Do they tell you like her origin story, like how she became a psychic and nobody else in her whole family is a psychic?
Oh, good question.
So, see, maybe April knows. But okay, so I will sum up the first half. So basically, it was a little confusing at first because there's a prologue. And I skipped the prologue, honestly, because I'm like anti-prologue. But I went back and read it. It's about a woman, a 20-year-old woman who commits suicide. There's a gun next to her and her wedding dress is trampled on. And so the woman who commits suicide is Alyssa, but Allison is her sister. So Alyssa and Allison basically are running away from Allison's ex-husband who is abusive. And so, I mean, the name sounds so similar. I had to like reread it.
True.
Alyssa and Allison. So It doesn't matter if you get confused. It really does. So one of the sisters, basically, he staged it to look like a suicide because she was going to warn her other sister, who's his ex, that he had finally found them. And they had never put anything. I don't even know if they're like independently wealthy. They never put anything in their name. She taught at the Art Institute, but she never took any money. So there was no record of her. The only record, which I would feel like she would have known, is she was the one that got her throat slashed, was about to marry, and so she had to register her name, and that's how we found her, because I guess your marriage is a public record. Exactly. Which I only know because of Entertainment Weekly. When they post, like, they're like, oh, I don't know how they watched it.
So registered, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, Britney Spears has just gotten married or something.
Right.
Anyways. True. So it opens up. She's a psychic, and so she sees people twice a year. That's it. She limits them because she doesn't want them to get hooked on, not being able to answer their own questions. And so this woman, the one that's killed, or one of the sisters, don't worry, it's one of them, don't get worried, I'm not even sure which one, calls her and is like, I think it's the one that got her throat slit, calls her and is like, I just have another question. She's like, look, crazy person, I only do readings twice a year. I just did a reading for you. Why don't you just look inside yourself and come back in 6 months? So she hangs up on her. So then it turns out later she's been murdered. So here's the weird part. We go on this side story where Abby is on a date. She's doing online dating, and she dates this guy who happens to be a cop, but she's gone into this big, long explanation how she never helps the police with stories because they always look at the psychic as possibly the murderer for knowing all the information. But for some reason on her date, she tells him all about this missing boy and how he's dead, and she thinks the mom did it. So of course, like, they have this really great date. His name's Dutch. And then he like goes MIA, doesn't call her. And then all of a sudden shows up on her doorstep a week later. And he's like, how did you know? We found the kid. We think you did it. And so I feel like she kind of did that to herself, right?
Yeah. It's kind of funny how that happened.
Yeah. So her best friend, who she shares the office with, is the one that got her to get out of banking and become a psychic. And she's like, your grandparents told me that you have this gift and you should be using it to help people, which again, didn't mention anything about the grandparents being psychic or anything. And so her friend is a psychic medium, which means she talks to the dead, versus Abby is a psychic intuitive, which means that she is able to predict the future. Now, so the weird thing is, when you see, I think the title said Abby Cooper PI, I thought it was private investigator, but PI stands for psychic intuitive.
Intuitive, yes.
So her best friend's leaving, moving to California with her boyfriend, husband, fiance, whatever. And so Maggie, a massage therapist, is moving in, I guess, to their office to share the space with her. So in the meantime, anyways, Dutch goes away, and then he comes back because he's like, oh, your client's been murdered. We found a tape in her drawer of a reading that you had. And then she was like all anti, accusing her sister's fiance of killing her. But then after listening to your reading, she decided that he was a good person and it wasn't him, but then she turned up dead anyway. So now she has to help Dutch with this investigation. And so he's starting to come around where he's kind of like, well, maybe you should just give me a chance. And, I think I just need to get comfortable with the whole psychic thing, which really he didn't seem uncomfortable at all on the date, right? Like that first date.
No, not at all. He just ghosted her after, probably thought she was just strange or whatever at first.
Yeah. And he kissed her on the first date.
True. Yeah. He did.
And so then they have this whole romance thing where she goes on this other date and with this other guy who's a jerk named Dirk the jerk.
Dirk the jerk. Yeah.
And so he happens to run into Dutch, and then Dutch comes in and is all manly and is like, leave her alone and I'll give you a ride home on your motorcycle, which I don't know. It's like a flip in the air. Are you better off riding home in a cab or with a guy on a motorcycle? I feel like
right. Rides her off into the sunset on his bike.
Might have been better off with the taxi. Anyways, I think I'm going into your half, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Go ahead. Jump in.
That's okay. So, right, Dutch has Miles also as his partner on the force. And I guess at first Abby had thought Miles was stalking her because he was showing up, but it was actually to watch over her protection and also to kind of investigate what she was into and this case. And so pretty soon Miles, Dutch, and Abby, they're all on the same team, and Dutch is starting to believe her abilities a lot more. And she just kind of gets these mixed signals from him throughout the rest of the story, right? Where he's showing some interest, but he's also pulled back a bit. So what we find out is that Alyssa, the one who was the bride to be, she was going to marry Marco, a mechanic, and I guess that she had a will made up that he would have gotten all this money, not her sister, Allison. And so targets start to go on his back, and he's even arrested by Dutch. And Abby doesn't like this because she could sense, and by what she knows, just by talking to him, because she interviewed him behind their back, that he seems pretty innocent. So she goes to the prison, talks to him again. Excuse me. I am going to put my new phone on silent. I'm just learning this. It interrupts me all the time. So she talks to Marco at the prison. And at the prison, he goes ahead and gives her a passcode to go into the storage unit where all of Alyssa's stuff is stored. And she gets this feeling like there's answers in this storage. And she tells Dutch to go with her and check this out. And I guess while they were there, the storage owner had to be like, no, I can't let you in unless you have a warrant, all this stuff. And then Abby kind of tells the future of this attendant and wins her over, right? And so she holds like some information and from her for her future, so that the attendant's like, okay, I'll let you in. So they go in and they find a couple journals, and she feels these journals have the answers, right? Some more answers. So what happens next is she gets a threatening letter saying to stop meddling, right? And so she's like, oh my gosh, the killer is on my trail. And she's also noticing stalking kind of behaviors around still, and it's not Miles anymore. It's not the police.
There are pictures of her in the envelope with the threatening letter.
That's right. Also taking pictures of her. So it's really creepy. And so she decides, I'm going to go to Boston. I'm going to go to my sister's. And I'll be back later because I am going to stay away from this for a moment. When she comes back, she finds out that her neighbor, Mary Lou, who loves gardening, is found dead in the backyard. And Mary Lou helped with her flowers, I guess. And so she looked similar to Abby, this neighbor. And so they're like, oh my gosh, this person's really being serious about their threats, right? So now she knows she's in deep trouble. And Dutch is like, I don't want you in this case anymore. We need to watch over you, yada, yada. You should not be even taking clients right now because it's too dangerous. And Abby's like, okay. But then she's like, I need the money. I need to do this. I'm going to still see my clients. So she ends up having an appointment with the name Mike in her books, and she doesn't remember who this Mike was, right? And this person shows up at the appointment time, right? At her office, because she goes, at the appointment time at 9 a.m. And she's like, oh gosh, I have Mike here. I'll go ahead and let him come in. And she's like, I don't know. How come I can't remember him? And she's looking at her book, and something cues her to be like, oh, Mike, he's the one that worked at the deli. Wait a minute. This guy is not that man from the deli. This is some other guy. And then she's realizing, wait a minute, the last name. And she starts connecting the dots while Dutch is calling her in a frenzy, like, what are you doing? Where are you? And she's talking about, being at work, and you shouldn't be at work. And we need to watch over you. This is getting dangerous because and she's like, well, I found out who the killer is, right? I've added up some dots because she had been looking into it further. And she's like, it's the ex of Alyssa. So Alyssa, the one who was about to be married, did have that ex-husband she was running from, right? Yeah. So she's like, that's what I found out. And he's like, that's what I found out. So they're on the same page. And then they're like, oh my gosh, she's realizing this guy is Frank Milford, this ex. And so the guy comes in while she's trying to tip Dutch off to come save me. And they get into a brawl with a butcher knife, right?
Mhm.
And Abby saves the day, kind of, right before the cops come in with hitting him in the face with this angel statue that she got as a gift, right? So her friend, who is was it Maggie or was it Teresa? One of her psychic.
So the person she shares the office with, Teresa, was called to her. So the neighbor that got killed, that looks just like her, was like, hey, she's going to be in trouble. You need to FedEx her right away this angel figurine. She's going to need it.
Yes.
So her friend that moved to California FedExed her the angel figurine.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay, so it turns out that she really bopped him good in the face and got his eye, and the police had come in and I guess shot him dead, right? And the coroner came. So she wakes up in the hospital at the very end. And she's like, what just happened? And she has a cast on, and because the knife hit the bone and fractured it, and etc. So yeah, we have Dutch there coming in at the end, and also talking to her about who seems to have been his love interest that showed up at his place. So I have a standard poodle, and he is scratching my door. I'll open it up in just a second. But yeah, he's like, don't worry, I am not with Mrs. Rivers, which is his last name. He's like, in fact, she came, I guess, tricked me, saying she was pregnant, came from another country, and he married her to take care of the baby, and it turns out she didn't have a baby after all. So we're into this, like, you could trust me, and all is happy now. Did I cap it pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, let's just talk about how like annoying that was. Like, here's like the annoying part for me at the love interest. So he's like, first of all, this isn't that old, where he's like, he marries her because she's pregnant, which whatever, who even does that anymore? And then on top of it, right, he's like, okay, I'll just stay married to you. I forgive you for lying to me about being pregnant, which I don't know any guy that would do that. And then on top of it, he's like, I'll just stay married to you so that you can get your green card. And then, so that to me just like he's kind of slimy, kind of like he should have just been upfront about that. So while she's staying at his house, because he's like, I'm really worried about you. I'm afraid you're going to be killed because her neighbor was just killed. She's like, you can just stay with me. And so she's like, oh, this is kind of nice. They're kind of dating. And then all of a sudden his ex-wife, his wife shows up and is like, I am Mrs. Rivers. I'm his, I'm looking for my husband. I'm his wife.
She acts all possessive.
And that's when she runs out and she goes to stay at a hotel. So then finally at the end, he's like, I told her finally that, I filed for divorce and it's over, which I don't know. I kind of feel like if you're a psychic intuitive, two things. One, she should have known that about Dutch. And also she complains about her ex too, how after 3 years of dating, he says, I don't want to marry you, which as a psychic intuitive, I feel like maybe she would have known that.
Yeah. She was saying something like she was not wanting to know anything about Dutch. She was wanting to block things from being told to her by her friend too about him, because she wanted to just experience the dating life with him. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like if he's all gone MIA and ghosting you, and then he's popping up as like this cop and all this stuff, you would want to know some things about him.
I don't know. First of all, I do not like him as the love interest, because he came to her house. I find this super rude. And he's like, she comes out and he's like, oh, I'm just here. Didn't call, didn't ask you out. And she's like, what are you doing? He's like, well, you didn't have any beer in your fridge, so I scooped out some of your ice cream. Like, these are my groceries. And second, it's not my job to house beer for some jerk who doesn't call me, wants to come in my house.
You didn't lay into him though. So
she just sat there and ate the ice cream. I'd just be like,
I guess at that point she did. Yeah, you're right. Before that, pretty like, all over him. But
like, if you're gonna show up unannounced, at least bring stuff and not just stuff yourself like beer. So gross.
So true.
I hate beer so much.
Also, going back to the whole romantic website interest with his ex being in the picture still, you'd think he would file for divorce before going online dating.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The romance was interesting.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. What did you guys give it? Jennifer gave it a 5. Brooke gave it 4, considering it was a saucy cozy romance. Oh yeah, that's true. There was some cursing.
4 too. I did 4.
Yeah. 5, because I love it. April. I love the romance aspect. We all know how I feel about the romance. Amber, 4. Hillary, a 5. Hillary, you're right. It didn't have traditional cozy vibes. Nope.
No.
I ended up reading a novella in the series right after this one, and it was called Blindsided. I like that too.
Oh.
Okay. Maria, I gave it 4 stars when I read it the first time. It's one of my favorite series, but it definitely pushes the limits of cozy.
Definitely.
I give it 4 because it's off the cozy rails. Jason, alcohol. It was the alcohol. Yeah. There's a lot of alcohol.
Well,
April, I don't think they gave much background other than she was always psychic. Oh, okay. The author Victoria Laurie is also psychic, so I think she just writes what she knows.
very interesting. I did not know that.
I think I saw on her site that she gives readings. Is it her? Maybe there was another author that gives readings. Brooke, the novella I read is book 1.5. It's a prequel. It's called Blindsided. It's an anthology with Denise Swanson. Oh, cool. It doesn't give much background, but it's set before she starts the PI business before she buys her house. Okay. Oh, yeah. She buys this fixer-upper. I forgot. There's like this handyman there, which is not a love interest. Brooke, how did I not know that book existed? I must read it. All right. April is an anthology called Dead End Blondes. It has stories by Denise Swanson and Elaine Betts, the other one as well. I didn't know Denise Swanson worked paranormal. I thought she just wrote contemporary. Get used to Dutch if you choose to read more of the books. They're a couple and stay that way. For sure, I will not read any more with Dutch as the barbarian love interest. Ivy, 3.5.
3.5?
Yes, Victoria Laurie gives readings. Okay, so she does get, that was the site that I checked out.
She pulls from her own life. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten a psychic reading?
I haven't. I think there was kind of a palm reader at my senior party. That was the most I got to it.
But you didn't do it?
I did the palm reading. Yeah, that was the most I've done. Yeah.
Okay.
I
did a tarot card reading at my friend's bachelorette party. And I remember the only question I asked, it was this guy I was dating at the time. And I was like, should I keep dating him? She's like, only if you want to have the worst relationship in the history of all relationships. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
2 things though. 1, she was right. He was a total jerk. And 2, I didn't listen to her. I kept dating him for a couple more
Oh, you did. Of course. That's what we do though, you know?
I was like, what does she know? But she totally knew. Plus, I think probably anyone who asked that question, it's obviously not a very strong or steady relationship.
True. She felt some vibes. It was off of it.
Yeah. I like tarot readings. I cannot get regular psychic readings because they're always based on your date of birth. And because I'm adopted, I have no idea when my date of birth is.
I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah.
So when you celebrate your birthday, did you pick your own birthday?
I did not. Well, I think what happened was because I was abandoned. So they just guess when you're a baby. And so my dad was like, there was a date on the birth certificate. And because I came from Korea, he's like, we had to fill out the paperwork again. And they were like, you can pick any date you feel like for the birthday.
Interesting.
Yes. Maybe that's what they did back in the 70s. So he's like, yeah, it was just a random date.
And they picked a summer date, right?
They picked a random date instead of the other random date. That was also on the paperwork. So,
oh, okay.
Did I would say April? As much as I like the series, I think Victoria's best series is her Ghost Hunter series.
Oh, we're getting into ghosts next month. That's
I highly recommend it.
No, she has Ghost Hunter one.
$10. Brooke, this is definitely a series I would continue. Love when that happens with the book club. Nice.
It was good.
Yeah, Amber, I'm interested in the Ghost Hunter one. I'll have to try that one too. So let's talk about the July book, the Ghost book. So there were 6 choices. It was like a pretty strong win for Death Overdue by Allison Brown. Right. So I actually just finished that book today.
You are way ahead. I just finished Victoria's today.
Like totally done. Anyways, it was really good. So I think you guys will all like it. Just so you know, that book is, it's traditionally published, so you'll probably be able to find it at your library. I found it was in both the regular book format, ebook, and audiobook at my library.
Oh, good.
So, yeah.
Good. I just have to say something fun about Victoria Laurie. I went to a garage sale just a couple months ago, and I saw all these cozy mysteries, and I decided, I'm going to buy these up. Great prices. There are a couple hardbacks, and one of them was by Victoria Laurie in this series. And when I got home and I opened it, it was signed on the inside. I thought that was so fun.
Oh, wow. That's very cool.
And
so
win a signed copy tonight, right?
Yeah, so we're giving away signed copies. So because I want to reward people for signing up for the newsletter. So I did give away a signed copy already to Jennifer McGee because she was like the first person to open yesterday's email. She did not get back to me though, which is odd because she opened yesterday's email.
Oh, darn it.
So one of the books goes to her. So we're going to give out 4 books today out of the 5. So and it's funny because I asked all these authors for book donations because the Victoria Laurie didn't get back to me. And so I was like, oh no, we don't have a book giveaway. But then she did get back to me. So we have her book plus a bunch of other books.
We have another mega giveaway.
Yeah, totally. Okay. So Hexes and Hot Flashes by Lisa Manifold. So, hey, Google, give me a number between 1 and 10.
Here's a random number, 4.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. Hillary. Hillary, yay.
Congratulations.
Hillary, you won Hexes and Hot Flashes by Lisa Manifold. And this is one of those new and exciting PWF books, Paranormal Women's.
Yes, it looks really good, and not just because I designed her cover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Molly made the cover. So go ahead and send me your mailing address. Send it to lisa@lisaseifert.com. And then I will make sure to get that over to you so you can get a signed copy. All right, next book is Murder at St. Margaret's by Lynn Morrison. Hey, Google, give me a number between 20 and 11. I know I said that backwards.
Here's a random number, 13.
All right, so let's start over.
Lucky 13.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's April. April is very well read. April, have you read this? So if not, we can try to give you the other one. She reads a lot of books.
Nice.
All right. Well, April's thinking. So the next book is Better Read Than Dead by Victoria Laurie. So this
is the second one in the series, do we know?
No, I think this is a different series, she said.
Okay.
It wasn't book 2. She said she didn't have enough left of that other one. April, I have not. Perfect.
Yay!
All right. Hey, Google, give me a random number between 21 and 27. Hey, Google.
Hello.
Give me a number between 21 and 27.
Here's a random number, 24.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to go back to small numbers after this. 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Jana Porter.
Anna.
You won Better Read Than Dead by Victoria Laurie.
Oh, nice.
Yay. So remember, just email me at my name, lisa@lisaseifert.com, or you can just reply to the email from today. All right, there's 2 books left, Witch of a Godmother by Belinda White and Tomes and Terriers by Hilary Avis. So whoever wins this, you can choose which book you want because Jennifer McGee never got back to me. So whichever one you want, you can get, and then the other one will go to Jennifer.
Fun.
All right. Hey, Google, give me a random number between 1 and 20.
Seven.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Brooke. Yay. All right, Brooke, let me know which one you want. Here are your choices. Witch of a Godmother by Belinda White or Tomes and Terriers by Hilary Avis. They both look really cute.
They do.
So Witch of a Godmother or Tomes and Terriers. I know she's like probably Googling this really quick.
True.
All right, so next month we will be meeting Wednesday, July, let me get on my calendar, 14th, which is the middle of the month.
Yay. For ghosts.
For Haunted Library, which again, just so you know, it's very light paranormal, just like this month's book. And I wonder if that's because they're both traditionally published. So it's like a tiny, tiny bit of ghost, not like overwhelming.
Okay,
ghost.
yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Overwhelming ghostiness. Did Brooke get back to us? Brooke. All right. Anything else that we had to talk about or give away or chat
I
about?
don't think so. I think though that was a really good book.
Yeah. Is there anything else about the book you guys want to talk about? Because I know we mostly just were like recapping.
True. Like something you extra loved or extra about.
Does anybody else feel like I do, where you're like, I will not date a guy who comes over, eats my ice cream, and is upset that there's no beer in the fridge?
Yeah. Demands beer in the fridge next time.
So rude. I didn't even say you could go through my fridge. Wait, what was her pet? She had a dog, right?
Eggy.
Eggy. She gives him an egg every single morning.
Yes, he likes eggs.
I don't know. Can a dog have an? I guess he can have an egg every day.
I thought that was interesting too. I think dogs can't have cheese, or they shouldn't have cheese, but they can have eggs.
That's true. Dogs and cats are lactose intolerant.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so they're not supposed to have milk, even though they really like dairy products just like we do.
Yeah, I would think a cat would be fine. So Lucky doesn't drink milk because
right.
It's good for him.
Although I bought this, they had this special version of cat milk, like from the pet store. Threw it up. So
really?
It must be so overly processed. He can't have it, but he can have a couple licks of real milk, even though I'm not supposed to. I give it to him like maybe once every 5 months or something.
Right. Cats just love milk.
Yeah. What else could we talk about? Royal Oaks. It was in Detroit, which was new because that was like a hardcore, like tough city.
She didn't run very far then, or Allison and Alyssa didn't run very far. Because it was
she always had, it was cute how she always said liar, liar, pants on fire anytime she like knew somebody was lying.
Right. I did peek at reviews and I noticed some people liked it, some people didn't like it. I was like, I thought it was kind of cute.
It was kind of cute. I could see how it could be annoying though after like book 5. Right?
That's true. We haven't delved further than this. So
doing that. Also, I don't even know, is Dave the handyman hot or is he not hot?
I don't think so. I don't know. He has back and shoulder problems and he just seems like a friend.
Yeah, she doesn't really comment at all on his looks, right?
I think he's like older, like 55, and she's like 30, but looks younger than 30, she said, right? For her age. She talks about.
She's 20. Oh, I don't know how old she is. She's 29. That's how old she is.
I totally thought when she was looking into like getting some insight into the murder and she said something about a butcher, meat or something. I totally was thinking of that deli when she went to the deli and I was like, ooh, is this one of the suspects? I guess that's one of the things. We didn't really run into Frank in the first half of the book, did we?
It was like, that's why I was like, it's a 5 as a book, 3 for the mystery. So, because I really didn't get that small town feeling or that cozy feeling. Like everyone was saying. It felt more like a romantic suspense dating kind of book.
Yeah, it did.
However, I did like that she was, unlike other characters, I like how she was like, I don't want to die. I'm just going to fly away to my sister's and get out of town.
That was more realistic, right? She's like, I'm going to show him listening to him.
But she was there so quickly. I was like, why didn't she just stay there for like 2 weeks or something?
Oh, and what did you think about her sister Kat? Her sister Kat has like an A-type personality, right, guys? And she is really rich because she's a really good business person, right? She's done she's got a return on her investments. And she ends up buying all this furniture at the end.
Didn't you like, I was like, I wish I wasn't an only child and I had a rich sister. I must just pay for everything all the time.
And like Abby wakes up and then comes to her house and sees all this beautiful furniture, and her sister's like, yeah, it looked like your house like came from a garage sale.
Yeah, there was like nothing. She said it was empty because she was like totally broke, right? She couldn't put any furniture in there. Yeah. And then her neighbor, how sad. So her neighbor who's killed is in college. She's so young, studying horticulture.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she was chatting with her neighbor. She's like, as she's in school studying horticulture, I'm super poor. Oh, this poor college student offered to do some landscaping for my yard.
And then she dies.
Yes, but that's how she ended up in her yard, which is probably why I thought it was her.
I guess they make up for it at the end. The story does with like, oh, you know, she's in a good place. Her friend said, oh, she's in a good place. And she gave you this, you know, to show whatever. And so the angel to make that. Oh, and the koi pond at the end that her sister Kat put together. And she said, this is supposed to like remove any negativity out here, right? It's supposed to bring positive.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So yeah, even her backyard was redone. That really is a nice sister. She almost feels like a mother figure. If she was my sister, I'd feel like, you know, she would be the older motherly type, that A-type personality taking charge of my life in a way, but I would be kind of happy with the results.
Yeah. What happened to her parents? They just weren't interested in psychic stuff, or they just aren't around? I can't remember.
I do not remember anything about the parents.
All I know is she said in the beginning that her parents really weren't into the psychic mumbo jumbo stuff, so they like never talked about it.
Yeah.
And they weren't around a lot. So her sister Kat was more like her mom. I think that's all. Did anybody know? Right. I know April knows the answer.
Oh, Alyssa felt strange growing up sometimes, like maybe a little guilty for some of the premonitions she received. Like maybe I made that happen for even uttering it, you know? So her family didn't have any background in it. No.
Let's see what it said. Oh, April. If you like Laurie's writing but don't want a paranormal cozy, her new series, Coached to Death, is really good. Oh, maybe I'll try that. It brings Abby's sister and a charter from the Ghost Hunters series together. You know what series I really like that it's not paranormal. It's the Deborah Burrows series, but it's super romance and a mystery. But it's the same thing like this, where it's like 80% romance, 20% mystery.
Oh,
which I didn't think I would like it, but I actually really like it. And there's nothing like, people are like, why do you like it? And I'm like, I don't know. I can't mention one thing I like about it, but I can't stop reading them.
Right. Sometimes that taste of romance could do that to you.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. April. She does not have a good relationship with her parents. They do their own thing. Oh, so they're around. They're just not like a close family. Good to know. Brooke, her sister was a great mother figure, especially since Abby is mostly estranged from her parents. Oh, okay.
Okay.
They're very hands-off parents in general. I guess that's different. My parents are very hands-on parents because I'm an only child, I think.
Yeah.
What about your mom? She's very
I'm one of 7 kids, but my mom is different. She's not like the whole like, here's some cookies for the grandchildren and to come over so I could babysit you. She's more like kind of the grumpy grandma, but she loves teaching them things and telling them what to do and what kind of manners they should have. She's like an edgy grandma that just gets on their case all the time, I guess. So she has her place that way.
Oh, that's right. You did tell me that. Yeah, my mom is still like, when I go home, she's like, do you need a snack? Going to the grocery store, what do you want?
I would be like, my mom has been like body snatched if she came to me. Here's the snack and some cookies.
Oh, no, we're breakfast. Could someone type? Oh, thanks, Brooke. She put it in. If you don't like my wine selection, you can leave. Exactly. Dutch can get out of there. Go back to the grocery store and get stuff.
Right.
Stop eating my stuff.
Beer. Bring your own beer.
Janice, I think the problem is because I don't cook and I like detest going to the grocery store. So like if there's anything in my fridge, it took like a superhuman effort to like get it in there.
Accumulate it.
Yeah. So if you're just gonna come to my house and like eat my groceries, I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh gosh, that's funny.
It took me 2 hours to get that scoop of ice cream.
I just have a rotation of like my 3 favorite meals to make that I just do over and over. I'm like, but I really am good at salmon or spaghetti, guys. Don't you want it again?
Oh, here it is. Brooke, Witch of a Godmother. Is that the one you want, Brooke? Great title. So I'm just going to say that's the one you want.
Looks good.
That's the one you want to have. Witch of a Godmother, Brooke. Do I have your mailing address? I might. I feel like Brooke, I feel like you won stuff before, Brooke, but maybe it was ebooks. I don't know. All right, everyone. Anything else we missed? Anything else we wanted to chat about? Let me see. Let me look at my notes. Was there anything else exciting in this book?
They really did get into backstory of different people she has given readings to. I will say that. I was like, is this a suspect? Is this from the very beginning when that woman came in that they were talking about had a boob job and the blonde hair?
Oh, the one. Is that the one that was gay but didn't know it?
No, that was another one. She has like a few different
okay.
readings we get to know.
Yeah.
She was having an affair on her husband, though. And Abby's like, don't do that. Your husband is like an engineer and a good man, and he's doing what he can. Leave this other man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the one who's the adulterer. I forgot about that. Oh, this is funny. I put too, like the 80s stuff, the payphones, the phone book, her date, the dirt guy used Aquanet. This is like,
oh yes,
must have been written.
The dating site like hearttoheart.com. She mentioned the handles for Dirk and for Dutch, and they were really cheesy handles. I can't remember those for their dating site. But I was like, that still feels like 90s too.
Yeah, everyone has cheesy handles now. And then I feel like this would never happen. This is so politically incorrect. At one point, Dutch is like, "Are you sure you saw a woman in your vision, or it was just a man in your vision, or was it a really butch-looking woman?" I was like, "Wow, that is so offensive."
Like, let me think about that. Could be, right?
I was like, no one would ever put that in a book nowadays. I almost feel sorry for authors that have books out now before like everyone became more aware of being more PC.
True. Yeah.
Let's see. April. My mom is very hands-on as I'm an only child. Yes, it's great to be an only child.
You got the platters of home-baked cookies, April, and I'm so jealous of that fact.
Brooke, yes. I loved to tell the woman she was gay and the woman was stunned. It was so fun. Yeah, that was a little odd too.
But she kind of had this multiple personality thing about it too. She's like, "What? I'm married? No."
Yeah.
Yes.
Before she was like super excited that the girl liked her. She's like, "Oh, does she like me?"
Right.
Hillary, I thought it was interesting that her friend Teresa, the psychic medium, was going to Hollywood to start a show.
Yes.
Made me wonder if that was before or after Teresa Caputo's show Long Island Medium. Oh, I didn't know that's why she was going to I missed that. I thought she was just going to California because her husband wanted to go to California.
Yeah, and she's able to like, I guess she can get the crowd to react with tears and like she would put on a really good show is what her friend, what Abby was saying. It was going to be a really good Hollywood medium show. Yeah.
I love the earlier setting of the book. It was kind of nice to step back in time. Oh yeah, back to the 80s. When you needed a cab. Can you call me a cab?
Yeah, all the payphones, he said.
Yeah, and how they found the recording on a cassette tape.
I saw a payphone the other day. I was like, wow, a payphone, but it was, when I got closer, it was gutted. It was just
I think they're all still there, but they just took out the interior.
Right.
So like you run up and you're like, yes, I found a phone. But it's not really a phone. I like that future. What was it? Was it Minority Report? No, it was that one where she has like, you can get weird body augmentations. I'm not even describing this right. Anyways, it's a futuristic show and she goes up to a like vending machine and you could just buy a phone.
Oh,
a single call. I remember that was like what they thought the future was going to be.
That's funny.
In fact, in Death Overdue, I won't ruin it for you, but at one point she's looking at apartments and the guy is like, yeah, there's a Blu-ray player in there. And I was like,
right. My parents got the VHS.
Yeah. Who wants a Blu-ray?
True, that's funny.
April, the book published in 2004 and the Long Island Medium came out in 2011.
Cool. Okay. Cool. Yeah. They still
that.
had phones and all that in 2004. Yeah, for sure.
And she used a phone book.
True. The phone book, I thought of that too. I'm like, no Google on your cell phone.
Yeah. All right. I think that's probably it. It is funny to me though. You can tell, and I'm not making fun of authors. I guess I am making fun of authors. If they're a little older and they like didn't grow up with the internet, they'll be like, when they describe Google, they'll be like, I opened a browser and I typed this in the search engine and then I got these results. I'm like, oh my gosh, we don't need to know all this. Just say you Googled it.
Yes, Googled.
Stop telling me stuff.
Oh,
My best friend and I saw a payphone booth in 2006 and it was amazing.
you pulled over.
I would too, to just see if it was working. Jason, I miss phone books. Oh my gosh. Think of all the trees that we've saved.
True.
Zaksha, I think life is delineated by before a cell phone and after. So many of the hiring adventures would be boring if they could just ring for help. Yeah, that's true.
And then you have to be like, oh, they have bad service and it's a storm. But now it's like, does anybody get bad service in a storm anymore? Our cell phones are really good now, right?
Yeah, or you could just go on Wi-Fi and send a message. We still get phone books. How do you still get phone books? I've never heard of a phone book.
I get them delivered to my front step too, and they're thinner than they used to be. It's like that people know.
Oh, yeah, those yellow pages, the small ones.
Yeah, they're a lot thinner.
Yeah, they don't. It's weird to me how everyone's super private about their phone number, but before we used to put phone numbers inside white pages.
Oh, yes. I totally remember looking up a friend's number that I had forgotten in the phone book when I was a teenager.
Well, we were always unlisted. My dad like always wanted to be unlisted so that like no solicitors could call us.
So he was more cautious. I have a question, like when we write our stories today, because you and I are both authors and some of the people watching are authors, do we write cell phone or cell or just phone now? Like what should we default to when someone's calling on their phone? It should just say phone, like a landline. Then you can determine like, say it's landline, right?
I think I just say phone. Because
right?
I feel like when you say cell, you're like, oh, I'm so old. I need to say it's a cellular device.
That's what I was thinking. I think now we've evolved to like it is the phone.
Yeah.
Unless you're thinking of a landline, which is more rare. So
yeah, I don't even know. It seems odd to me. Like, have you noticed like every time you get internet, they're like, and you can add in a landline for $5 extra. I'm like, first of all, I don't even know where I buy an actual phone. I don't know.
They have those at garage sales too now. You can find a rotary.
And then if you get a phone, what should I buy an answering machine too, built into it with a little tape cassette?
And all the time people put into those messages.
Yeah.
To be funny or tell a story.
The town I lived in before here still has no cell service. Whoa. What? That sounds like a scary place. No. Need a satellite phone. Most people don't have landlines anymore. Amazon. Oh yeah.
Amazon has everything. Amazon has everything.
That's true. I did just order a new smartwatch and I was looking, I almost ordered the Apple Watch because they have the cellular version so you can do phone calls and text messages. But then I was like, I don't want to be that connected. So I got the Garmin Venu 2 or whatever it is instead. So.
Oh, okay. Because I just got an Apple iPhone after, I'm all saying Apple iPhone. You can tell I haven't used it in forever. Like several years I haven't had one. And then I had an Android watch and my husband's like, now we can't connect it to your iPhone and we need to get you an Apple Watch. So I don't know, but.
You could get an Apple Watch, yeah. Then you could have cellular, and then you could just be connected all the time. I can text message you all the time with all of my dumb questions. Apple Watch. Who has an Apple Watch? I know, we should probably go. Ivy, I'm 61, and I think authors over 60 need consultants when they were younger characters. I see people say things no one under 50 says. That is so true. Someone was just talking about that, how they have millennials saying like crazy things that only old people say.
New slang all the time.
Yeah. I feel like you could just watch, like right now, Gen Z, they're adults, right? So you could watch just all of their YouTube channels and just listen to them going on and on about nothing. Just pick up what they're talking about.
Right.
Let's see. Veronique, phones are, is this Amber? This was Amber, right? I don't remember. Phones are definitely unreliable on my parents' farm in South Carolina, and internet is still pretty rough there. It's pretty close to Greenville, so it's not like crazy rule.
This is really good to know, because I always thought, like, if I'm writing a story in a rural place, they're all going to have good cell phone service and internet now, but that's not true. I could still have them.
Yeah, that's true. Although most people probably just wrongly assume, like I do, that everyone has cell service.
Right. True.
Amber, we still have locations in our town with no cell service because we live on a mountain. April, there are towns in Oklahoma that still don't have cell service.
That's also new to me. I did not.
I'm on my second Apple Watch and love it. Yeah, I'm actually trying to hold out. So my thought is I'm going to get the Garmin Venu 2, and I'm going to keep that until the Apple Series 7 comes out in 2022. So I feel like by then I'll know whether or not I probably want to start. The only thing too is, like, and I know this is minor, I love tracking my deep sleep versus my regular sleep. And
you
so
do.
Yeah, the Garmin and the Fitbit do that, but Apple Watch doesn't. I don't know why they don't. So, like, I know for sure, and I know it's silly, but I've tracked it. So if I do 4 hours of deep sleep, regardless of how much light sleep I get, I feel great. If I get anything less than 4 hours of deep sleep, I feel kind of tired during the day and need to take a nap.
That is so strange, because I was going to be like, I don't sense you as a person that has insomnia at night, so why are you tracking your sleep? But it's something fun to see.
It's just the quality. Yeah, I never have any insomnia. I always sleep 8 or 9 hours every night, like no problem. But it's the quality of the sleep.
Right.
So sometimes it's basically just the temperature. So, like, if it is anything higher than 68 degrees, I can't sleep as well. Or if Ben's been out late and he comes home and he has lights on or something, then I'm like, bright light, can't.
Yes.
But otherwise, yeah. I sleep fine.
Interesting.
You're not tracking.
You
should get a Garmin Venu too, and then we can track our deep sleep comparisons.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Brooke, we still had dial-up internet in my previous town until 2008.
Until 2008? Wow. Yeah.
Jason, I live in the country on a swamp. Self-service is spotty. If I lose my Wi-Fi, I can only send texts. I can't even connect for a phone call on my iPhone. Well, I hope no dangerous people are ever chasing you.
Especially around the swamp area.
Yeah. Brooke, there's places in our town where I lose service. That's crazy. I wouldn't even live there. I would pick locations to live based on cell service. I can't remember the last time I dropped a call was like almost, I want to say 10 or 15 years ago back in Chicago.
Oh, dang.
Like, I feel like it's improved so much. Like, even on the subway in New York, you can get cell service.
Like deep underground.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They put repeaters in the subway system.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess that makes sense for that busy of a city area. Yeah.
Although it does make me, I liked it at first, but then it kind of made me sad, because at least when you get on this, two things. One, I can't lie and be like, I didn't get your call. I was on the subway. The second thing is, now that you have subway, as soon as it happened, like, everybody was on their phone talking, and it was kind of obnoxious inside a subway car.
Interesting. Now that I think about it, I haven't had cell phone issues, but it's the Wi-Fi. You and I, when we've met before, I've dropped our calls too many times.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was like, increase your upload speed.
Oh, well, this has been fun.
Yeah. This is really
Glad
fun.
we all enjoyed this book. I think it was across the board. It was pretty much a hit.
Yeah. So let me just recap the winners, just so in case I forget. Hexes and Hot Flashes by Lisa Manifold went to Hilary Ferran. Murder at St. Margaret by Lynn Morrison went to April. Better Read Than Dead by Victoria Laurie went to Jana Porter. And Witch of a Godmother by Belinda White went to Brooke Showalter. And Tomes and Terriers by Hilary Avis by default goes to Jennifer McKee. So thanks for joining, guys. And hope everyone's having a fun night or has some more plans. I'm going to watch Loki tonight with dinner.
Oh, yeah. The new episode, right?
Yeah. Are you watching it?
I have not. No, I'm watching weird reality shows still. I'm still in that right now. I'm watching The Farmer Wants a Wife.
All right. Well, that's a little different.
Right.
All right, guys. We will see you guys next month.
Thanks, guys. Bye.